been a few days since our last episode. We are at the Hungary ring for our next Grand Prix. I need to jump over and see what happened in the French Grand Prix. So I don't want to leave you here too long because I know you're hungry for more. But if you could like, subscribe. I mean, don't do it only on that joke because that was horrendous. Just look past that. Like, subscribe, all that madness. It would help massively. But yeah, let's go and have a little potter over to France and see what's happened there. I never normally bring you back for qualifying for an off kind of episode race. But Bottas has only gone and slapped it on pole. So we had wets, or at least inters at the very least. I didn't send them out once because it started raining, it was getting worse, so I thought, what's the point? Held back Gasly and Bottas. Gasly, who's got a new engine because he ruined the last one. A fresh gearbox, sorry. And he had a 3-place penalty, and I'm not sure why. It must have been a carryover from that, possibly. So I sent him out just in front of Bottas. Really late. And yeah, he came out on pole with just over a 10th. So, I mean, yeah, obviously you can see here we held off much later than everyone else, just to hopefully let the track dry that little bit extra, and it seems to have done us the trick. Now, let's see what we can do with it in the race. I'm sure it's of no surprise. We didn't manage to hold on to first place. 6th with Bottas currently. Gasly is down in 13th, fortunately. He was started in 9th with his change and the penalty that he had. He did spin out. He did a Leclerc on the corner over here.
Max Verstappen
kept it on track.
Over the finish line and today's winner.
But yeah, not enough to get us the points that we needed. Bottas in 6th. Both the Mercedes ahead of us, though, is a little bit of a dent for our challenge. So it does now put Bottas back ahead of Gasly and our first driver to hit triple figures, which is pretty strong. So we're 6th and 7th in the driver standings. At Constructors, we are still 3rd, but we lost 20 points on Mercedes this weekend, which isn't the best. After the completion of the French Grand Prix, as I covered, we've got the guys in 6th and 7th. Team-wise, we're in 3rd, which is strong, so we're still comfortably ahead of what was expected from us. Car-wise, we have recently had a new part on, a new rear wing. So I'll change to our second car, which, as I'm sure you know, we always make sure that they're basically the same anyway. Comparing ourselves against McLaren, who are the team in 5th, because realistically, Mercedes are probably going to take the space off us. But either way, it's fine. Don't worry about it. We have the Hungary ring. We have the edge against McLaren with low speed. Medium speed's not too far off one another. High speed, they're absolutely mad. But fortunately, there's not too much of that here. So yeah, as I say, I mean, there's not too much really for us to cover. I've got a few parts that are in development at the moment. I've got a side pod, which is due to complete just before the next Grand Prix. And we've just started on research on a new chassis and a front wing. So both of those will be coming through soonish. And we're manufacturing that new wing as well. The new chassis we've just developed, I believe. So, I think what we should do is jump into the race.
The Hungary ring is abuzz with excitement as Formula One returns to Hungary for another round. We first came here in 1986 after construction on this purpose-built motorsport facility was completed. The Hungary ring is one challenging succession of corners and turns. With few straights, it's affectionately known as the go-kart circuit. Drivers will have to find a proper rhythm to make the most of the layout, and for cars, low-speed downforce will be paramount. The season is about halfway through, and it makes me wonder what else is in store for the teams. Well, there's only one way to find out. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Formula One.
It's actually Formula One Manager. We are at the end of Q2. Gasly's just crossed the line in 12th, disappointingly so. He's got quite a few pretty worn parts at the moment, unfortunately. Bottas is 9th and will definitely go through. Yeah, I completely forgot to come back. I also lied to you. Gasly's 8th, don't worry about it. So we've got 8th and 10th, so we're both through. Bottas will probably go just ahead of Gasly. Beautiful. Okay. I'm glad I didn't miss him going out. We're on to Q3. So, according to our little weather chart, we're supposed to have heavy rain. I haven't seen any of it yet. So, including practice, I'm going to throw on our strongest kind of a fresh pair of softs until we get into qualifying. If at the start of qualifying it looks like it's not going to affect Q3, I'll go back onto the used set and then we'll use the fresh set. So yeah, it does look like it is going to be affected. So how long is that going to be? Basically, as they are. So we'll make sure we send them out on these tyres fresh as possible. And make sure we don't get caught up or affected by that rain. It's coming in 3 minutes time. So we should be able to get round and back in. Or, you know what I mean. So Magnussen isn't going to affect Bottas at all. Hopefully Gasly can clear him at a good point. And he isn't too affected by that. But hopefully, this little bit of sneakiness might get us quite high up the grid. So, Bottas is 4,000th off Russell. Gasly is almost 2/10 away, so that's unfortunate. But the rain is starting, so it looks like there may be some of the guys that are going to be affected by this. So Verstappen's crossed, he's gone top. Leclerc's just crossing to start his lap, so he's definitely going to be affected. We'll put it up to 4x and we'll see where all these guys drop out. They're all coming in anyway. Yeah, sure, whatever. Yeah, I think we might have some pretty good qualifying there. Unfortunate for Gasly, he got held up. He could have been 3rd and 4th. But we'll see where these other guys drop in, Perez and Sainz, etc. But I would expect with the rain coming down now that they're going to be impeded, at the very least, should we say. So Perez crosses, he comes in. Let's speed it up, because apparently that was Perez starting his lap. So Leclerc 19 seconds behind, Hamilton 13 seconds. Yeah, it looks like we're going to be 3rd and 5th. So it's not quite the pole that we had in last race. But yeah, 2nd and 3rd rows of the grid. Pretty damn strong. Yeah, so here we are at the end of the session. We've got all the guys out on track at the moment trying to improve their times. Obviously it's not going to happen, but we'll watch them all scoot through regardless. Do you know what? These guys have had improvements from the guys that were actually on wets anyway. But yeah, miles away from where we were. So 3rd and 5th, as we said. There shouldn't be any penalties at all for us. So the race day itself isn't affected by rain. So we're just thinking a normal vanilla strategy. Just get the race kind of done there. We're going to start aggressive as normal. And we'll see what can be done from that, really. But yeah, I don't think there's any point really. We could possibly go soft into hards. Or maybe kind of a soft, medium, hard for an aggressive 3-stopper. Possibly. Could be worth a shout. But I don't necessarily think our car's strong enough to be doing any of that. Should we do it? Should we try something? It's going to leave us a lot of tyres left, isn't it? We've got a fresh set of softs that we know of. Yeah, and it gives us a chance here to hold off until pit stops. Yeah, we're going to do that. We'll go a 2-stop with Bottas. I said pit stops. I meant to go. And we're going to still go with that vanilla 1-stop with Gasly because his engines aren't quite as fresh, unfortunately. I have bought these, but I'm not going to use them in this race. So yeah, let's jump into the race.
And here we go with the Hungarian Grand Prix. And it's lights out and away we go.
Gasly's dropped off quite a bit from the behind the Bottas already, but I have got him on softs and aggressive, so that might be part of the reason why. But we'll jump on board itself with Gasly because he's got quite a good view on the a few guys ahead of him. We'll jump it up to 2x. No, we'll let it run through. So he's retained his 3rd place, has Gasly. Russell, it's actually taken Verstappen. I think Verstappen started on pole, didn't he? So decent start from Russell. It's not a good sign for us that the Mercedes are trying to pick up. And that Haas in 7th, I'm assuming that was just due to the debacles of a wet qualifying, but... Oh yeah, no, definitely, because Latifi's last. But then again, it's Latifi, so... Doesn't really, can't read too much into that, can we, really? Bottas, making moves. He's ahead of Verstappen now. What a guy. I'm going to ease off on Gasly. Just let him crack on. Bottas himself. Oh, Jesus. So, we have just seen it. Russell has just gone skidding off into the gravel. That's not the angle I wanted to see. I was hoping to get a better angle on this. But he's gone flying into the wall. Might very well pull out a safety car because that looks pretty gnarly. Bottas is leading the Grand Prix there. As we know, we can afford to him to go nice and aggressive, so we'll do that. Bang him on the hards. And yeah, see what will go on then. But we'll try and get a little bit of headway at the front of the grid. We have got one of the Red Bulls right up our arse though, so probably not going to happen. Just an update. Russell is still going, so it was not going to be any sort of interruption with the safety car, etc. But yeah, we'll jump up to 2x. We find ourselves at the start leading the Grand Prix again, which we did for the first few laps in France as well. There's not enough for us to get away on DRS yet, but we might have a chance, as we're gaining a little bit of time on the Red Bull. And we're softs against their mediums, so it is possible, but probably unlikely. I'm going to jump up to 4x. Going to leave him on aggressive. He's 9.19 ahead of Verstappen at the moment, so there's, as I say, there's still a chance. I am going to update a little pit thing, just to put that on there, see when it is that we're going to have to bring him in. Probably here, and we'll bring that mediums in as soon as we can, because we know mediums run much nicer. Maybe even let that run a little bit longer, but we can run it to there. See what that does for us. But we'll leave Bottas on just aggressive on these tyres, and we'll just try and make a little bit of a headway on the cars behind us. So if we can get, as I say, a bit of a gap, then we might even have a chance to improve. Where on earth is Gasly? Oh, okay, so he's directly behind Hamilton there. I thought he'd dropped off as well then. Yeah, so those Mercedes are looking pretty strong at the moment, unfortunately. Good thing is that Magnussen's managing to hold off both Ferraris for Gasly. But, yeah. So I'm going to jump forward. We'll stay on board. We'll go 8x. Hopefully we can see this number keep increasing. Ocon's actually taken Verstappen as well, which is good. He's started on mediums as well as Verstappen. But what he's doing is slowing him down, building us up a little bit of a gap. So we've got 15 laps. Hopefully. Oh, what's...
I think we've had a car run wide.
Dear Mr. Verstappen, what have you done there?
We're just watching the Red Bull.
It's absolutely shook. He's got Ocon. Ocon did a madness here last year. Well, not last year, obviously, but last year in real life. And Verstappen just couldn't hack it. He's choking. He's a choke artist. Bottas also did a madness on the same Grand Prix, but his wasn't a good madness. So we move. We stay nice and aggressive.
Position gained for a Mercedes.
Hamilton overtakes Gasly. Hamilton's miles ahead of him. Yeah, I mean, I'm happy to stay on board here. We'll just follow this through. We'll go to like lap 15, and we'll see what Bottas has worked. So I'll see you there, providing nothing else happens. Probably him driving into a barrier, knowing our luck. So here we are now, lap 15. We had built up about a 4-second gap, but it looks like his tyres were starting to slow down. Sorry, I got excited then. I thought I was about to get a safety car. Magnussen ran wide over here. Yeah, we had built up a nice little gap, but looks like Hamilton's chewed that down. Bottas is going to come in now, get himself on those hard tyres, and see where he can come back out. Because we know, obviously, we're not running an extra stop on everyone, but we're definitely running a different strategy to quite a few of the cars at the front. Up to lap 30 now. We've wombled all the way through with Gasly. I couldn't care less if it is a lock-up or it isn't. We're going attack and push on him. I'm learning my lesson from Bottas and not pushing tyres too far. We're bringing him in right now. Hopefully he can... I forgot to bring him in. He's just beyond Ocon, who's coming out as well. He's having a brilliant race. Bottas is up to 4th, but bear in mind he has to pit again.
Ferrari, advance the race position.
A lot of the other people behind him, obviously, or in front of him actually, don't actually need to pit again. So Bottas is looking at about 45, and then we can bring in those mediums and go quite aggressive at the end. So regging up towards lap 40, Bottas, as we know, still to pit. I've got him on aggressive, not going to attack. I'm going to learn my lesson. Hopefully aggressive will be sufficient for him. He's right on the tail of Hamilton in the lead. Gasly is still pattering about. He's currently in 8th. Sat at the fastest lap because I forgot to take attack and push off him when he came out of the pits. So, yeah, he'll do all right. He should get some points for us. As we know, we still do need to pit Mr. Bottas, though. I'm hoping to kind of hold off for a little bit. We'll keep it on 8x. Hold off for a little bit. And hopefully we'll get a safety car. Because if we do, we can throw him in. Get some softs on the boy. And, or medium, sorry. And,
Mercedes moved up a place.
Properly do some damage. But, at the moment, even if we did look at pitting Bottas, it will look at dropping him out in 8th. So it's not too bad. He's got at the moment 27 laps that he'll have to go on them. So as long as we can hold off, the better. But we don't want to leave him with too little time to try and work his way back up the grid. So we'll ignore this. We'll carry on being aggressive. Hopefully we can kind of improve our gap against the teams behind. So Bottas is going in now for his mediums next lap. Sainz has just come in. He's dropped out behind Gasly. Hopefully we've got a really aggressive lap with Bottas so can see him do the same. I'm going to pause because I want to get rid of this. I don't want him to be aggressive when he comes out of the pits. Give me a second. Attack, sorry. I want him to just stay aggressive. Hopefully we can get... Ooh, we have came out just behind Sainz. But behind Gasly as well, as we know. So we are out in 8th as expected. Hamilton's also pitted. So... yeah, it's quite a few teams out in the front that we're going for that 2-stopper. So I've just rotated the cars and we've let Bottas go through. We have had Sainz behind, so I'm going to try and hold cars behind as we'd expect Gasly to do anyway, but I'm going to try and do that actively to try and build up a little bit of gap for him and the guys behind him. So we've got Perez, Ocon, Verstappen. We'll have a little look, see if I can see what sort of plan they're on. It's probably just going to be a 1-stopper. Yeah, it seems that all the guys that are doing the 2-stop have already kind of done that 2nd stop now. Charles might be coming in as well, possibly. So we have a very strong possibility here for Bottas to stay where we are. So I think 4th and 6th might be a good return for us. Russell down in 10th is massive. So we'll jump forward. We'll go to AX. And
looks
we'll
like Aston Martin
carry on through.
just gained a race position.
We're on the tail of Perez as well, so it looks like he's struggling in comparison to tyres. He's on some older hard tyres, so we'll jump on board with Bottas. He's got Perez alongside him. I'm not going to get involved with this because I think he can kind of get it done himself at the moment, which is good. But if we can, do I want to go... No, I'm not going to, but I am going to go attack for a lap. Just because I can hopefully get away while Hamilton and Perez are having a little battle between one another. We have got yellow flags in Sector 3, but it doesn't seem like it's going to be anything too... Oh my god, Gasly spun.
That's a spin!
Okay, he's held onto his position at least. I can get him to stop holding people back. Because,
and Ferrari just gained a place!
He does have Gasly just behind. Bottas has made up a little bit of ground, so we'll go to just aggressive for Bottas. We'll drop him to balanced. Likewise with Gasly, we'll leave him there. His tyres should last through to the end. Bottas is getting a little bit questionable, so we can't be too aggressive. Let me just see what I can do with these if we go to aggressive. So we can basically go to the end, but we don't want to push it too far with Bottas's tyres. So 54th lap, we're up in 3rd place. We have Ocon... what is that? 9. Yeah, so... Oh, sorry, it's a gap to the lead. I was wondering what was going on there. So we've got Ocon just in front of us. And then there's an 8-second gap between Ocon and Verstappen. So if we can take Ocon soon, hopefully we can do like we've just done and try and build up a little bit of a gap between ourselves and the cars behind. We are still on aggressive though, bear in mind, so we don't want to be too hard there. Maybe I should have held back for a lap or two more on the hards. Probably would have been a better idea. I'm gonna... Yeah, I'll go aggressive for a little bit more. see if we can get past Ocon, but he's having quite a good race here, is Ocon. But we'll put it to standard now, because realistically we're probably going to be stuck in some sort of rotation between ourselves and Ocon. But we have got ahead of him. Am I going to... Oh, we've made a little bit of headway against them already.
With a great play there. They've moved up a place.
So we'll leave that on the go. We'll bring that down. Hopefully we can see ourselves there with a nice little gap as well. We don't have any cars kind of between us and Verstappen now. We are actually closing down the gap on us and Verstappen as well. So 13 laps left. I'm not sure we'll do too much in that regards, but there is a possibility of a win here for us, which I wasn't expecting, to be quite honest. Hopefully Ocon can hold Hamilton off. But yeah, Bottas is doing wonderful things at the moment. We'll put that camera looking forward. We'll jump back into the map. We'll go to 4x. Yeah, so we are chewing into his time, but not
there's been a lockup.
Not too much. We'll push with the guys again for a little bit. Just keep an eye on Bottas. As soon as he gets to 0.2, we'll ease that off. But if we can get up from with Verstappen, that would be massive. What tyres is he on? So he's on quite old, hard tyres. So yeah, if we get in front of him, we might be able to hold him off. We are definitely chewing into it, but I don't know if it's at a rate that's going to be strong enough for us at the moment. We'll push up to 8x, let that carry on. Hamilton has taken Ocon, and he is eating into our time as well. A little bit faster than we were eating into Verstappen's, unfortunately. I'm not going to push too hard on these tyres, because I don't want to go like we did on the previous race and drop off the back. So a little bit regretful that I didn't hold off for a few more laps on the hard tyres, because it seems that Hamilton's chewing back at us and pretty sharpish actually. Hamilton may very well win this race at this rate, but yeah, maybe we can hold on to the back of him at least and get ourselves a little bit closer to Verstappen. That's
it's a race
probably going to
position
be a
gained for Mercedes.
Stronger, better for us. Oh, he's gone. He's gone already. He's on a mission. He's Hamilton. So where is he? He's gone. He's all the way up here somewhere. So Gasly is still in 8th. He's in a world of his own. Perez is ahead of him, and the car behind is Magnussen here, I believe. Maybe the car directly behind his little thing as well. Bottas is currently on for a podium position, but yeah, he might be able to be quite sneaky. I'm going to go aggressive, I think, and push. See if I can get on the tail of these guys for the end of the race. We're down to 50% on our tyres. I'm going to push up to 8x. Hopefully those two having a little battle is going to slow them down so we can chew back at this. We've still got like a full tank of deploy, so I can use that all on the last lap. I know it lasts for about a lap and a bit. It doesn't look like we're doing much in regards to catching up to them, but even if it's holding on to the podium, that'll be good as well for us. So we'll jump that back down to 2x. We'll jump on board with him. Gasly's still pottering about in the middle of nowhere. Oh, he hasn't got enough fuel to get through to the end of the race. Let's ease off on that. Let's not be silly with Gasly and kill his race. Bottas is 1.8. We're going in towards that last lap now. So, yeah, I think when we get about halfway through this, I'll use deploy. And I know that'll be roughly enough for us to get through to the end of the race. So, I'm thinking up here on this corner. Where are we? 1.6 behind. Oh yeah, Hamilton's flying. I am going to use that deploy now. And I think I'm going to go attack as well. We've got like a lap left. Why the hell not? I'm definitely going to regret this choice, aren't I? He's going to end up putting it in a barrier. Knowing our luck. But I don't know. If we can get ourselves on one of the top 2 steps, that'll be massive. 1 lap left now. We've just dropped below 66%, like 2/3. I think the guys behind us aren't going to be too much of an issue. And I don't think we're going to take Max. But yeah, no, we've got to try, haven't we? So we'll push for that. We can go back to balanced with Gasly as well. Hopefully we can take Verstappen at some point in this lap. Ooh, trying it on the chicane. Ooh, he's had him up the inside. Have a bit of that. So it's going to be what, Hamilton, Bottas, and Verstappen on the podium again, hopefully. I mean, I'll have a bit of that.
Looks
Comes
like
around the last
Aston
corner.
Martin have
Still
just
got a little
gained
bit
race
of
position.
charge. Happy days. We were actually up there for that battle, you know. Hamilton was quite a bit stronger than us, but yeah, I'm more than happy with second place there. 8th for Gasly as well, considering he span out. Russell with the fastest lap. He pitted quite late, to be fair, didn't he?
What a phenomenal job Valtteri Bottas did today.
Splendid work, Valtteri.
A spot on the podium is exactly what the team deserved, and they got it. And this man certainly isn't finished with F1, proving he still has plenty to fight for in this sport. Alongside them, of course, the other two talented drivers completing today's podium lineup.
Absolutely wonderful work. Yeah, Hamilton getting his first win. To my knowledge, probably got another one since then. Valtteri, big old second step on the podium. Gasly's picking up 4 points for us as well. Wonderful. Both the drivers over 100 points each now. Fantastic. Constructors wise, we did lose a little bit of ground on Mercedes, but not too much, to be fair. It's this one to McLaren, really. I'm looking at. I'm expecting us to drop behind Mercedes at some point this season, but yeah, if we can do so with holding on to the back of Mercedes and maybe even sneak third place, that would be massive. Well, that was just wonderful. There hasn't been movement in where we are. Obviously, we're still in third, as I covered. Drivers in 6th and 7th. I will be back in Spa-Francorchamps, but you'll only receive kind of a little update on that, what happened, and we'll be back for our next episode at Zandvoort. And I do hope you come and join us for that in the next episode. As I say, there'll be some items on screen so you can carry on watching if you really wish to do so. And thank you very much for your time.